Welcome to Empirical Peapod. I'm your host, Tim Day. Thank you so much for continuing this journey with me, where I get to sit and talk to all my favorite people. You guys remember the drill. Don't forget to like, follow, share, subscribe. Let's get into today's episode. All right. Today I'm sitting down with Maggie, everybody's favorite Maggie. So once again, I'm going to do the same stupid thing I did when I talked to Sam, because I had an epiphany when I talked to Sam a couple of weeks ago, where I just realized her name was Samantha. And it's the same thing here, where your name is Margaret, isn't it?
My name is Margaret, but I do prefer Maggie. So
yeah, well, Maggie's an awesome name, and I gotta think that Margaret never comes up.
It does sometimes at work now. Sometimes people call me Margaret, and I'm rolling with it. It's whatever. I'm tired of correcting people, and they're not really my friends, so I don't care about them.
When you sign your name, do you sign it Margaret, or have you gotten to a point where it's Maggie?
It's kind of a scribble if it's like my real signature, so it doesn't matter. But I guess like on my passport, I had to put Margaret, but otherwise, Maggie.
Because I run into that trouble too, where the people will be like, "Well, your full name is Timothy," and I'm like, "Well, I don't know how to sign that because I've never used it in my life."
Right. It feels unnatural. I'm like, I have to remember how to write write it in cursive too. Like, who needs that?
Yeah, I feel like as a society, we've grown past that. So did you start in Oswego? Is that where your journey begins?
No, I was not. I was not born in Oswego.
Really?
Far from it, actually. You want the full
story? The full story? Oh, yes. This is Maggie centric, please.
I was born in Waldorf, Maryland.
Wow, that is far.
Yeah. It's outside of DC. And then we moved to Derby, Kansas, when I was a baby, and we stayed there for a while. I'd say till I was about in like third grade, and then we moved to a town outside of St. Louis, in Missouri, and we were there for a few years, and then we moved to Arkansas.
Wow,
I've been around.
I see that. That's amazing.
Yeah. So for Arkansas, I was in middle school and in the 90s, and it was crazy. Country music, Shania. It was amazing.
Oh, yeah, that would have been the big movement then.
Yeah. And then right before I started high school, we moved to Oswego, and that's that.
Nice. So you actually didn't even come up here until high school then. Did you fully finish junior high?
Yeah, I did fully finish. It was like the summer before high school, I believe. If my parents listen to this, they might correct me. But we moved so much, it's hard to keep the dates. Yeah. It was kind of a blur. But I know I started high school here. I feel like I might have had a little bit of 8th grade. I think I did. Now that we're bringing it up, I did. I think I did some of 8th grade here.
Maybe halfway through or something.
Because I went to, it was either Traube or Thompson, right? Like
those are the two options depending on where you lived.
Yeah.
Where did you move to in Oswego?
We lived off Grove Road, down in like those new subdivisions at the time. Back there, Morgan Valley Drive.
Oh yeah, so that would have been Traube for sure.
Yeah, so I did go to Traube it was not very long, maybe a few months, and then we had summertime, and then Oswego High School.
Nice. Now, that's a lot of moving around, like in a relatively short amount of time. Did you find it hard to kind of make friends with people and like socialize at all?
I think it was easier for me because I'm a pretty social person, or maybe that made me a more social person. I don't know which came first, but I'm I'll talk to anybody. I'm a social butterfly. And it's pretty easy for me to make friends. So, um, or especially when you're younger, not so easy now, but when you're younger, yeah, it was easy then. So, um, my brother, I have an older brother who was 3 years older than me, and I think it was a lot harder for him because he's more of an introvert. So we've talked about it now as we're adults and can see a little more clearly, of what
Yeah,
was going on at the time, and yeah, it was definitely easier for me. And
I think it's one of those things that's tough because when you're going through it, it's kind of manifesting in a way that you don't understand. So it's easier to look back and be like, okay, now I can connect these lines, right?
yeah, definitely. And like, there's pros and cons to it. Whenever anyone finds out that I moved around a lot, um, yeah, there's pros and cons, but for the most part, like, I'm not mad about it. I'm not mad at my parents.
Yeah, I mean, it's like not for nothing. It seems kind of cool just because it's so many different places too. Like, it's kind of cool just to experience that. Do you still feel like do you enjoy traveling now? Like
Yeah,
just going on, what you can.
yeah, definitely. And like, I feel like our family, when we were younger, we road tripped all across the U.S. That was like always a vacation. Just get in the car and we drive for hours. So I think that was instilled in us, and that was kind of like how we were growing up, like travel, go places. So um, that's always kind of been part of it. But I love traveling. I feel like I've seen a lot more of like just the states than some people. So that's cool. A lot of Midwest. I say I was like
Yeah,
born on the East Coast, raised in the Midwest.
yeah, that makes sense. Do you have a love of country music based on your time having to deal with it?
I feel like it has remanifested recently. Like now that like country's been coming back into the fold over the past few years, I'm like, oh, I know these hits. Like I know the jams, but it wasn't something that stuck with me all through the years.
Yeah, that's like whenever Jason and I are out, like when country comes on, him and I will sing it all, and people are shocked. They're like, "How do you even know this?" I'm like, "This is we like it or not. This is what we grew up on."
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that was like the big like that was like pop culture at the time for me.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So once you get to high school, then like you said, you're a social butterfly. So do you find it pretty easy to make friends and kind of find I don't know if it's your people at that point because we're still pretty young, but at least somewhere where you felt you could fit in and people that you actually like to hang out with.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, my family grew up pretty religious, in a good way, not in a bad way. I feel like there can be either, but
Yeah.
um, we were always raised in like youth group and church activities and things. So when we got here, like my parents found some youth group that they put me in, and I definitely met one of the oldest friends I have now, Megan Bivens. Or
Ah,
Megan
yeah.
me now. We actually met in a youth group. She was like one of the first people I met. So yeah, I kind of fell in meeting her and um, some of my neighbors I became really close friends with. That's how it was back then. Like,
Yeah.
you're friends with the kids on the block. Uh,
You're right.
Heather,
Do you consider yourself still religious?
no, I'm not at all. But my parents were cool because they asked us, me and my brother, when we were, I think, 16, if we still wanted to go to church and be involved in the church, and that we had a choice. And we were both like, no, we don't. But
That's pretty amazing. Like at that point, did you have an aversion to it, or are you just like, oh, if I don't have to, I don't want to?
um, I think I was rebelling. I think I was rebelling, and it didn't really. I don't know. It didn't. As I got older, it didn't really make sense to me. I liked the community of it, and
Yeah.
especially when I was younger, like all of our friends and the activities we would do. Um, I look back on that, and in good light. Like I had a lot of fun and meeting different people, but as I got older, it those weren't the people I wanted to hang out with, or I wasn't necessarily doing things that they wanted to hang out with. But I think it just kind of grew apart. But I think it did instill like some good morals in me, just like the normal things, like be a good person.
Yeah.
So
The common sense stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, but a lot of people don't have that. So
That's true. Or yeah, some people suck. That's
yeah.
Do you then going through high school? Did you have any kind of focus about like what you were thinking, a big picture of your life, or did you just kind of scoot through high school like I just gotta whatever, let's get through this?
Um, Good question. I don't think I really did. Um, I was just partying. I don't
Since through high school.
know. Freshman and sophomore year were pretty good. I was always a good student. I didn't mind school. I really was into like art. Um, I always thought I was going to do something with art just because I enjoyed it. I didn't really have a plan though.
I mean, what you do is kind of art. I mean, in a different sense.
Mhm, definitely. I think I did like graphic design is kind of where I fell. And I ended up going to Wabansi for that eventually. But I did really enjoy like all the art electives in high school and the photography classes. I took everything I could. So that's kind of the best part of high school for me.
Yeah. Did you go to college? I know you just said Wabanzi, but did you go to like an actual college or get a degree?
No, I went to Wabansi. I did get my associates in art um, with a graphic design major, but I didn't do anything with it after that.
Just hanging on the wall. That's all it's for, right?
I mean, I did like kind of have I did have a part-time job doing some graphic design, and I did some like freelance stuff for friends, like making, labels for the CDs for their band, like silly
There
things.
was a lot of us back then.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, fun stuff. I just enjoyed, the Photoshop and editing and all that stuff. But when it came down to it and was like, do I really want to do this? I kind of learned how competitive it was. I don't know if it's that industry is still like that, but it was not for me in the end. I'm not a hugely competitive person. Um, and actually, what happened, I wanted to transfer to UIC and get my bachelor's in graphic design. And I found out a bunch of my classes that were supposed to transfer weren't transferable. And I kind of got screwed because I had
Yeah.
moved to Chicago with that in mind. And then I didn't get in to the college. And then I was like, I need to get a job right now. So um,
Right.
I was actually with Alex Taylor, and there was like a group of us that moved to the city from Oswego.
I was gonna say did all three of at least three of you, maybe more, move out at the same time or relatively close?
Relatively close. I feel like within a year, there was Alex Taylor, Samantha um, moved there first. I feel like, and then we had me, Alex, Isaiah Baraza.
Oh yeah,
Um,
that's right.
yeah,
Isaiah was a
so
man. I forgot about that. That one still hurts to talk about.
yeah, it's rough. Nick, same thing. Um, Dan and Chops Watt. Like we were all that was kind of like our
Yeah,
city.
there was a nice little crew up there.
Yeah, we were thick for a while. It was a good time, but yeah, that's kind of the school career for me.
Yeah, so that's relatively young. Also, like I feel like it wasn't necessarily right after high school, but you guys were like what 20 when you started heading up there?
Yeah, I think I'm kind of the younger one out of most of the crew, but I think I was 20, 21, 22. I don't know, somewhere in there.
Yeah, that's good enough. What did you then do for work when you got up to the city?
um, so we were just walking around downtown applying at restaurants, just literally on a whim. I was really helping my friend Alex because he was trying to get a job in a restaurant. And I was like, well, if you're filling out applications, I'll fill out applications too. And I got a call back from Gino's East, the pizza place.
Oh, nice.
And I got a job as a hostess there downtown and ended up working there for 11 years.
Wow, wow. As a hostess?
No, I moved up the chain pretty quickly. But yeah, that was kind of my career before I got into my new career. So the pizza life was for me for a decade.
I love pizza, so
Same. Who
that's
doesn't?
yeah. It's just crazy to think of like because that's a. I mean, you're successful and that's a career. 11 years is a long time. I've never had a job longer than like 4 years.
Okay, that's fine.
So I get bored. I'm also very mouthy if I
Mhm.
don't feel like things are going the way I'd like them to.
You
And
tell
most places, most bosses hate that.
Yeah, they don't like.
But is that what you did then until your most recent career change?
Yeah, yeah. I worked for Gino's East and kind of actually like the parent company of that restaurant. It's called Bravo. They own a few different chains. Not chains, but Gino's East is the big restaurant. And they have Ed DeBevick's. They also
Oh yeah.
own the place where they yell at you. You see, you could work there.
Well,
Really?
yeah, maybe, but I don't like the rebuttals. Like it'd be me saying something like no more, just shut up, shut up.
Uh,
Which actually might work out, to be honest.
yeah, it could be cool. But yeah,
Yeah,
Ed and they have like a little like Italian place, and but yeah, it was mostly Gino's East that I worked for a long time. I was host. I started being a host, and then I was working like carry out, and then I think the office manager like had a baby, and I was like, I can do that. And then I like got the office manager, and then I told them I wanted to be a real manager. And so then I started managing restaurants and got through all that, and then um, kept moving up the chain and helped them open new restaurants, train people, and then I did like events coordinator for a few years. That was pretty cool.
that
Um,
sounds good.
and then I moved into director of marketing. Really,
Wow.
really like it's a big title, but I have
Yeah.
no schooling or anything.
I
Uh,
say it sounds like not to be a dick, but it sounds like you're not qualified for it because it
yeah,
sounds impressive.
yeah.
But like, that's
The
awesome.
title sounds very impressive, and I had to learn a lot about things I did not know, like SEO and
Yeah,
all this internet stuff and AdWords, and I
yeah,
had to hire a bunch of people for a department, and made sure they were all smarter than me so that they would make me look good.
smart. That's really smart. Did you enjoy that part of like learning the SEO and because I did project managing for a year and it's the same kind of thing where I'm working for other companies, basically doing all that for them.
Mm,
Did you enjoy it at all? Or were you like, this is?
I didn't.
I'm glad the team's here to do it.
Yeah, I. It was just too much. I couldn't really wrap my brain around it, and really like the whole internet marketing in general. Once I learned more about it, it just made me angry because I was like, oh,
That's
it's like
fair.
it's all about
Mm,
tricking people into like
it is.
clicking on this, and
Yeah,
I was like, I didn't feel good about it, and I was like,
yeah.
this is the goal. This is the whole goal of my job, and it just didn't. I wasn't happy.
It's like an extension of sales, right? That's why it's
Yeah,
sales and marketing to where it's almost got that grimy feel still. Where you're like, I don't like this.
yeah, yeah,
Now, what you do now, though, is actually not to be pandering, but it's pretty impressive. Because I feel like you're part of an insanely tiny group, right?
yeah. It is. It is a small group of women plumbers.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I think the last number I saw was like 9%. or something. I could be wrong.
Wow.
We might have to fact check that. But
I mean, it's still, I know it's definitely small.
yeah.
Like, so how did you, like, how did that manifest and show up for you?
So COVID basically. So the first or second week of COVID, I heard it was like March 12th, March 11th or something.
Right.
Um, I got laid off at Geno's, and it was like a
You
five
say
minute.
this, the city was very different. Like, not for nothing, out here in the suburbs, we were all still functioning mostly.
Okay,
But like when I would go, because I was my friend that's a tattoo artist out there. When I would go to the city, it was like a ghost town.
yeah,
Like they took it way more seriously, as they probably should have, and it makes sense. But like it's crazy to see how each town is different. It's such a huge town to be like nobody's out.
yeah. It was pretty weird. And scary in the beginning because you didn't know what was going on, and um, but yeah, it was definitely a ghost town. And my restaurant was downtown, and downtown was just basically closed. So I got laid off with a very short phone call, and I was very pissed because I'd worked there for so long, and I thought I deserved more, but also, like I said, I wasn't very happy doing what I was doing. Um, so I wanted to quit on my own terms, not somebody else's.
Yeah,
Um, but COVID did kind of give me the kick in the ass to think about what I really want to do for the next 25, 30 years, and what I would actually be happy doing and what would also like benefit me. So took some time off. Uh, Thought about that a lot. And I knew someone, a server at Geno's, who had left. We used to call, she was the best server, and we always called her like she was our lifer. Like she's always
yeah,
going to be here. You can always depend on her. Like she's not going to go do something. And like this is her. Like this is like her world. And she had
right.
left, and I was still friends with her on social media, and I saw that she was like doing tile, like setting tile.
Oh
And I
wow,
was like,
yeah,
and she was posting all the time about it, and I was really intrigued by that. And I messaged her, and I was like, "How did you get into this? Like, this is so random."
yeah.
And she told me about a nonprofit called Chicago Women in Trade, which huge shout out to them. Amazing nonprofit in Chicago that helps women get into construction trades. Teaches them about it. They have free workshops, free information sessions, and I enrolled in a 12-week pre apprenticeship program where they teach you about each of the trades. Not all of them, you can't even learn about all of them, but each
Right.
week was like one of the main trades. So you do like a little project, and then they bring in women who work in that trade, and you can ask them questions about their day to day. Any questions you want, you can ask them about. And then they also get you prepared to take the test that you have to take to get into these unions if you want to get into a union, which is the best idea. Um,
Can you do a trade without being part of a union?
oh, yeah. So,
I
like,
suppose you
tons
can.
of construction trades are non union. Um, but unions do have a little bit more, the benefits are more amazing. And then they like protect you from getting underpaid. Certain jobs, especially in Chicago, are union only,
Right.
because we have like a very big like blue city.
Yeah.
But it's weird. I don't know why it's so political. I don't know the entire history behind unions, but mostly red states are non-union and mostly blue states are union. So we'll dig into that at some time. But
Yeah.
uh,
Somebody can Google that.
yeah, Google that. But yeah, so I was really, really, really nervous about making that leap. It's a totally scary situation. Um,
I mean, that's a scary leap in general, like just to bet on yourself, but then also that realization of, oh, now I have to do this job.
yeah, yeah, and I don't know anything. I don't know anything about plumbing, and so I just knew that like I've always kind of been like the fix it person. I can hang shelves, fix this, fix that. Like I like working with my hands. Um, I knew that I didn't want to sit at a desk anymore. I feel like it was really killing me. I didn't want to work on a computer all day. Um, so I felt like it was a good decision. And it would also keep like my body like physically active.
Yeah,
So I could like stay in shape. Um, and I went for it. And also, it was going to be a huge pay cut in the beginning. It's not that attractive looking salary when you first start an apprenticeship. The I think my starting salary was it's like $18 or $19 an hour. So my salary at Geno's was pretty good since I had grown to that position that I was in, and you have vacation and sick days and
right. Yeah,
all of those benefits. Um, and you do not have that in the construction field. You do not have PTO. You do not have paid holidays. You do not have sick days. Um, you only get paid when you go to work, um,
right.
which is a downside. But you gotta weigh the pros and cons.
Yeah, but how long is your apprenticeship?
It's 5 years. It's 5 years. I might finish in 4.5, but basically 5 years.
And was there a particular draw to plumbing specifically? Because I know you said it was a few trades, not all of them, but was there something about plumbing that stuck out more than anything else?
Honestly, no. It was kind of random.
Yeah,
So during COVID, um, the trades were hiring pretty slowly because it wasn't that busy.
yeah,
But the advice from Chicago Women in Trades was when these unions do open to apply, which is usually only once a year, just apply. Like you have nothing to lose. There's usually a fee, like $50 or something, to apply, but
right.
Chicago Women in Trades pays for that for you. So
Wow.
like you really don't have anything to lose. So just apply because there is an aptitude test that you have to take, and for like 90% of all the trades, it's the same exact test. It's a Scantron test with a booklet. It reminded me of high school. It was like fractions, reading comprehension. These tests, like it was that test.
Yeah,
So there's definitely some more like reading tape measure questions were in there. A lot of like adding fractions, subtracting fractions, like fourth grade stuff, but I
yeah.
didn't remember how to do that. Like
It's tough when we haven't done it in so long. Like
I know.
I worked in a paint factory where we had to do the same kind of things. Like because you definitely when you leave high school, you're like, no, that's never gonna come up again.
I don't need
And then it comes up in the oddest places where you're like, really, man.
Yeah. So I use a lot of math every day now. Which keeps me on my toes. But at the pre-apprenticeship program, you take a math class during those 12 weeks, and it basically prepares you for this test. So you've got like a leg up on some people. So I just applied for anything that became open. So I ended up taking, I think, 4 or 5 tests. Um, I applied for low voltage electrician, bricklayer, scary. I applied for the iron workers, um, local 63, actually out of Aurora,
Oh, nice.
and plumbers. I think there was one more, but whatever's open, I was like, I'm just gonna toss my hat in the ring. I flying by the seat of my pants. I was just going.
Yeah.
I don't even know where my life is. Let's just see what happens. but I got accepted to the plumbers and the ironworkers, like in the same week. So I had to decide which one to do. The main reason I picked plumbers because I could stay in Chicago. Ironworkers, I probably would have moved back to the suburbs, and I wasn't fully ready to do that yet.
Yeah.
So yeah, plumbers, local 130. That's where I'm at.
Yeah, that's amazing. Like, you're such a badass in general. Do you love it?
I do. I do. My coworkers are disgusted because I'm like happy and smiling and making jokes.
Yeah.
And, I haven't become jaded yet. I know it's still early. There's plenty of time to become
Sure. Yeah.
jaded, but I am not yet. And I do enjoy it. Obviously, some days suck, are really hard.
Sure. Well, yeah.
Um,
I mean, you literally, part of your job is literally going to be dealing with bullshit.
So, like, I mainly do new construction. So,
That's nice.
most of the pipes I put in are clean and new, which is great.
Yeah,
So I
that
don't deal with a
that
lot
is
of
great.
poo pipes. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, which is great. But like, there's a lot of digging we do, which
Mhm.
I didn't know about. I wish I knew that before because my first year as an apprentice was basically here's a shovel, dig. And I was like, well, how far do I have to go? They're like, just dig. I'll tell you. Stop. And I'm like,
Wow.
well, what have I gotten myself into? There was
Yeah.
definitely moments where I was questioning, like, what am I doing here?
You talk about staying in shape. Digging holes all day will work you out.
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm in really good shape, and I joke to people, and they're like, "Oh, you look good. I haven't seen you in a while." And I'm like, "Body by plumbing. There's the deal. I don't go to the gym. I just go to work."
Yeah. I mean, that'll do it. You had mentioned that you're not ready yet to move back to the suburbs, which implies that it's something that you're thinking about.
Not really. No.
You just wanted to soften that.
Yeah, I think I don't know. I've heard a lot that, especially now with my job, being a woman and living in the city is really good indicators that I shouldn't ever not have a job
Yeah.
because in the city there's lots of diversity requirements and like I don't know what you call it, neighborhood requirements or like zip code requirements for
Mhm.
specific jobs, especially if they're funded by the state or federally funded. Um, so, like, I was on a job over the summer for a few months that was federally funded. It was a huge, like, campus for police and fire training center. Um,
Ooh.
so like they had to have a certain amount of people or the workers had to live in the city of Chicago. Like they couldn't bring a whole bunch of people from the suburbs in to do the work. And it was like high minority job where I don't know what percentage, but it was the
Yeah.
most people of color I've ever seen on a job site and the most women I've ever seen on a job site, which was 3. So
Wow.
we had our own porta potty. It was amazing.
Really?
Yeah.
Is there female porta potties?
Yes, they're pink.
Of course they are. That's how we identify all things female, right?
Yeah. They're not always pink, but that one was
Yeah.
pink. But they usually have a lock on them and they give the key to the women. So
Yeah, that makes sense. It's just kind of funny that we just throw pink on something and pat ourselves on the back and call it progress.
yeah.
But we don't need to pull that thread and get into those weeds. One of the things too, when I think about you, I feel like I don't know if you still are or what your life looks like these days, but back in the day, you were an avid gamer.
Yeah. I still love games. I'm still quite nerdy gal.
Thank goodness.
I haven't been playing as much lately. I feel like one thing about my job is like I'm tired. I'm actually like
Yeah,
physically tired from work. But the last game I got hooked on was Dave the Diver on
man,
Nintendo
it's so
Switch.
good.
I
Yeah.
got into that game. Like it was so thanks to my brother. Shout out Morgan.
I'm embarrassed to say that because they gave it to us for free on the PlayStation, and that weekend in 2 days I had somehow put in almost 50 hours, and I'm like,
It's
that's not
addicting.
even possible.
It's
But it's
addicting.
so good. It was yeah, it's like just so addictive and fun.
I love this.
Uh,
Not like I've never played a game that like I gotta go fishing and then I gotta go work at the sushi restaurant. I'm busy,
yeah,
okay? I'm
and
sorry.
not not for nothing too. Like every time you'd be like, "Oh, I had a good day of fishing." That's already a fun mechanic in a game on its own.
Yeah.
And then you get to run the restaurant. You're like, Jesus, this is like two games. And then it's got like six other new mechanics that keep coming out, and you're like, how many games is this goddamn thing?
Oh, I really enjoyed it. And then I do this thing where I get like near to the end and I stop playing because I don't want it to end.
I did the exact same thing. I wonder if that's like pretty common for gamers because like you have such a good time. I feel the same way about like a sitcom when I'm getting close to
Mm,
the end of binging something, where I'm like the depression of it ending is starting to set in. I don't want to deal with that.
yeah. Yeah. I always like to play the Mario games. I'm a kid. I love the simple Mario games.
Yeah,
Like
you consider yourself more of a Nintendo person. Like, do you only have a Switch?
I do only have a Switch. Um, I'm more just fun, easy games. Nothing like too intense. Yeah, I don't want to like think too hard when I'm playing a game. Um,
Yeah,
so yeah, mostly Nintendo stuff. Um, I hope I get back into it. During COVID, I Animal Crossing because that new Animal Crossing game came out like the week after COVID happened.
yeah.
I was like, oh, it's perfect. I'm unemployed. So my job is Animal
That's
Crossing now.
um, that was the selling point for me. Is Schmed had talked me into getting Animal Crossing, so it was the first game I bought on my Switch, and I hated it. I do even to this day, I do not understand my motivation or what I'm supposed to do or why. And like, I see these memes and people are like, "I'm just out here vibing." Like that's the whole game.
You're like, no, I need a goal.
Like, yeah, please tell me what to do because Tom Nook is pissing me off right now.
I get that. I definitely get that. I don't know why. I don't think I could play Animal Crossing now. I just think it was like really good timing because I had nothing to do.
Yeah,
And it was just like shoved in my face, and I was just like, okay, I'm not sad anymore. I play Animal Crossing.
yeah. It makes sense that like certain games. I'm sure it's like same with books or movies. Like things will come into your life when you need them, serve their purpose, and then you move on,
Yeah.
which is beautiful. So aside from that, then what do you do? You've got this job. You've got your unicorn out there in the city. You're not playing games like you used to. What would you say you do here?
That was a hard question. Honestly, I think I'm just kind of vibing right now. I'm like
Yeah,
kind of like discovering what makes me happy and what makes me tick and like what keeps me motivated and like just really I'm really happy right now to be honest.
I'll say. Does it feel like you're? I think because of the age we're approaching too, and because of where you managed to, you busted your ass to get where you are in life. Do you feel like it's the first time where you can kind of breathe and be like, what do I like? Like, who am I as a person, and what do I want to do? Because like before, it was like, all right, we always wanted to be around our friends. We were always out partying. Then we had to worry about getting to work. We had like a lot of different things kept us busy,
Yeah.
and now we're finally at a point where it's like, all right, a lot of these things aren't buzzing in our ear anymore. Who were we discovering ourselves now? Do you feel that?
Yeah, definitely. And like I'm really focused on the apprenticeship and like being the best I can be and like actually like enjoying something and being good at it. Like that's kind of new, like for me, and to have like accolades and like people.
Did you just say it's new for you to be good at something?
I don't know, like it feels very new, like, and like to
Yeah,
be learning something new at this age is
yeah.
rare-ish, like
And I gotta think
totally.
a lot of people are, patting you on the back because it is such a huge accomplishment. And like, it's easy to make a joke, but you are legit a unicorn in the city. Like, it's got to be tough not to buy into your own hype, but still be proud of yourself. Like, it's amazing.
Thank you. No, I am like, I've really grown a lot since starting this career, and it's given me a lot of confidence, as it should. Like, I am badass and I do badass things. Um, and I think before I was a lot more humble, but I feel like I can, say these things and toot my own horn and be proud of it. And like, and I feel okay about that. I don't feel bad about talking about myself, which is a new feeling for me, but
Yeah,
I'm really enjoying it. I'm thinking about the future for my career path, and like, where am I going to go after this? There's still a lot of different areas I can take my career as a plumber. It's like next year I'm going to take my license exam, which is like the big kind of ending of the apprenticeship. Um, all plumbers are licensed by the Illinois Department of Public Health, because it's literally like you can kill people if you do the plumbing wrong. If you get
right.
bad water or don't take away the bad water. So it's big stuff. It's big stuff. It's cool. And like, I could become an inspector. I could go work for the city of Chicago. There's a lot of different things you can do. So kind of focusing on that. And like, I could also be a teacher at the plumbing school. They take a lot of the apprentices and do that. Um, a couple months ago, I was in the apprenticeship contest, which was really cool.
Oh,
I didn't win, but it was cool to do. And like, I've seen those kids who come up who were in the apprenticeship contest, like, go do great things. So I'm just like, really excited about that. I want to stay focused, and like remember that I have a lot to learn, and to be humble about those things. But like, I love the company I work at, and everyone there is really nice and has taught me so many things. Like, I didn't know
yeah.
how to use a bandsaw or a sawzall or use a drill correctly. Like, so many things that I've had to learn. Um, I'm really just focused on that right now. And it's kind of lame to just be like, I'm just throwing myself into this plumber role, but like, I feel like I have to
Yeah.
like make it work. Like, I need to do this until I retire to get that pension that I'm paying so much money into. That was kind of another reason I joined the trades. Like, I want to retire. I want to be able to retire before I'm 70. Can't rely on Social Security, right? That's not going to be
Right.
around for us. So
No.
if I do really well at this, I think I find something I enjoy, a specific facet of it that I enjoy. Um, I should be able to be happy with my work, and myself. So I think that's like a really important thing. If you're not happy with, you know, your 9 to 5 or 6 to 2, then you're
Yeah.
not going to really enjoy life.
What do you think about the schedule in general? Like, I've always loved working as early as possible.
I love it now. It was definitely new for me. It was an adjustment, waking up at 4:30 in the morning, but I love it now. I like going to bed early. Sometimes it's hard, especially if you're hanging out with people and you're like, it's 8 o'clock. I gotta go.
Do you go to bed that early, or do you still like by the time all said and done, it's like 10 o'clock and you're getting into bed?
No, I try and be like in bed by like 9 something. Um, like my phone, I have my phone like shut down all my apps at 8:30, so I can't like be scrolling and get stuck in my and
Yeah.
scrolling.
Do you use your phone as an alarm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't
I've been
that
thinking of like
do other
maybe I
people
should get
know?
an alarm clock just so I have my phone within grasp.
Yeah, no, there are times I snooze as much as possible. Like,
Yeah.
give me 2 more minutes. I will take it, and I will get out of the house as fast as possible. I love that I don't have to put on makeup for work or do my hair or find an outfit to wear. Like, bleh. I love it.
Way to take pride in your job, bud.
I mean, it's great. I don't have to. That's not what's. That is not what's important. It's important. What can you
Yeah, for
do?
sure.
How well
Of
do you
course.
do it? It doesn't matter, what you look like. So, and everyone gets paid the same, which is amazing.
Yeah. That is amazing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool. Uh Kind of going back to what we had talked about. I know we mentioned that your first friend was Meg through the youth group and stuff. And you'd also alluded to kind of a lot of the stuff we were doing during our 20s. Do you miss any of that?
I miss, yeah, like not having to worry about bills and when rent is due. I mean,
Just in whatever the next show is, and that's
yeah,
it.
I definitely miss it, but I don't. There's certain things in my life now that I enjoy. I enjoy grocery shopping and cooking meals and having my things and I don't know, being home with the dog and like I
Yeah.
like my
Do
little.
you and your partner shop together?
No, we don't live together, so we don't shop together.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I met.
Do you live on your own?
I live by myself. Yeah,
I feel like you probably make too much money then.
that I make too much money to live alone. Not in the city.
Well, the fact that you live alone means you make too much money.
Oh, well, I mean, my place is reasonable, but
Yeah,
I don't know. It's not. The
that's
city is
it's still
expensive.
amazing. Yeah,
Everything's
how? Oh, I'm getting a cool little echo in my ears. I love that. How long have you and your partner been together now?
I have a recently new boyfriend, maybe.
Yeah,
Um,
we use the word partner
okay,
now. Just
my
so
partner.
we're very progressive.
That's okay. I can be progressive.
You're a woman in a trade, of course.
I can be progressive. I'm around men all day and have to listen to what they say. Nasty mouths.
That's actually one of the things I was gonna say is because, like, not for nothing, that's a tough line to walk, right? Because
Yeah.
I feel like part of you's got to be like, that's kind of funny, certain things, and then the other side has got to be like, that's a problem. What you just said.
Yeah. It's definitely you have to know where your line is personally, and you have to communicate that the first time you're
Yeah,
offended and not the third time that you're offended.
right. Have you had to set boundaries like that, or are you just kind of like,
No, I have. I definitely
okay,
have. Honestly, most of the guys I work with are completely awesome. Like most of them are dads, they have
yeah,
girls, and that's kind of where I can like relate, have them relate to me. Like, would you want your
right?
daughter to hear that, or something? I can usually like pull on that.
You think it's weird to have to point that out to be like, I'm a girl, like your daughter. How
Yeah.
are you not putting that together?
Like you use that, you say that at home in front of your
Yeah,
daughter? No, I'm not at home. Oh, there's a lot of, I mean, to be fair, they are not used to having a woman work around them. You know, I completely understand that. But I have one coworker that I've had to tell that he couldn't talk to me the way he was talking to me. And basically, as I told him right away, don't talk to me like that. And he was like, looked at me all crazy. And it was in the same day. And then he said something else that I was totally taken aback by. And I was like, yo, what the fuck? Like, you cannot say that around me, and you cannot talk to me like that. And we haven't had an issue since. So, I mean,
Well, that's good at least.
you have to, I've had to like talk to a lot of other women in the trades to figure out like how to approach different subjects. And basically my boundary is I'll let you say what you want, but you can't talk about me. Like, I can't fix everyone's point of view or try to show them a new point of view that I work with. Like, that's not my goal. Like, I don't have time for that, and it's too much. It's too much work. Like, you know, a lot of
Yeah.
these older blue collar guys, like, of course we're going to have different opinions on things and how the world works, but we're going to work together. We're going to put the plumbing in, and we're going to go home.
Yeah, that makes sense too. It's a tough line to walk. I feel like it's still it's in such an infancy stage still.
Yeah.
Like it can be tough to navigate through that without like blowing up the whole system.
Yeah. I mean, a lot of these guys, great guys, you know, we definitely disagree on things, but I can't be out here trying to, I don't know, you know what I can't change everyone's perspective.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I think that's probably the healthiest thing is to setting your own boundaries firmly and understanding that you're not going to change anybody. It's not your job to change anybody, you know?
right. And there's like certain little things like I've learned to do, like I've read from other women, or like you don't want to maybe say something, but like if somebody says a joke that you don't find funny, which happens all the time, there's like little things you can do, like one, not laugh. Okay, like don't play along. You can ask them to repeat it, not laugh again, which I love because if they say something offensive to me, or if they're saying something homophobic, like really bad, you know, like, what did
Yeah.
you just say? Like, that's not funny. You know, and
Yeah.
yo,
I like the idea of having to repeat it and then constantly just being like, I'm just not getting it.
yeah,
Tell me
like
again. I just don't. Where's the humor part?
it's not coming through.
It's always dissecting a joke in front of them is the best way to take the
Yeah,
piss out of them.
and listen, these guys' egos are so sensitive, so it works. It really works. But yeah,
That's so funny.
I met my partner in the trades.
Oh, really?
Recently after I started in the trades, I met my partner. He's also a plumber, and it's been really great working together. We work at the same company, which some people will have something against. We were
Yeah.
we were a little, you know, we all know the term, you know, don't shit where you eat. But we were cautious. We were also like, I don't know if this, you know, is a good idea. We took it slow. But it's been about 2 years and happy, healthy relationship.
Yeah.
We don't live.
Remember 5 minutes ago when you're like, I have a new partner in my life, and then you're like, we've been together for 2 years.
I know. I feel like it's still new to me. So.
Fair enough. And that's kind of the goal, right? To keep it as new as possible.
Mhm. No, it's been really great. Um, he has 2 kids, which is new for me, and another reason why it was slow to start because it's a big
Yeah.
decision. Um,
How old are his kids?
he has a 15-year-old daughter and 11-year-old son.
Okay. So at least they're not like babies,
They're
right?
not babies, so they're very self sufficient, and they are super nerdy, and
Awesome.
I love them so much. And like that is kind of a big part of my life now also is spending time with them, and you know, we do things together. So it's really cool to just like interact with them. Think about when I was that age,
Yeah.
what was going through my mind and how different kids are nowadays. But it's cool. They play a lot of like iPhone games, like open world anime games that are way not I don't know anything about, but I'll Google it and be like, oh,
Yeah.
Goodness.
Yeah, that's super fun. Like when I worked in a junior high, and it was really cool the same exact way. Uh, those dickheads got me stuck on Pokemon Go also, which I
Mm.
still play, but it makes me so mad. But they would always show me this stuff, and then I always beat them at every game they brought to me.
You got to.
I remember when they picked up chess, and I just whooped their ass at chess. And I'm like, this will make you better, I promise. Like, I'm not gonna be arrogant about it, but I'm never gonna let you win. So when you win, you actually won. Like, good on you.
Nice.
Did you feel that? I mean, because that is a big change, and it's like it's one thing when somebody has one kid or a young child, like that's kind of easy to plug into, but when you have these kind of older kids, and there's multiples of them, and it's new to you also, was there a lot of anxiety going into that, or did you just lean as hard as you could? Or after you met him, was it just like, oh, this is going to be easy?
I was cautious. I was definitely nervous. Um, but after we met, it was easy. Like these kids are really cool. They're super sweet. Um, they're they're just really good kids, and they were happy to meet me. I mean, mostly because of what my partner had told them about me, and um, they've just been super excited to have me around and do things together. Um, and I like introducing them to new things or like teaching them things. Um, I had a period in life where I did a lot of analog photography, and I mean,
Awesome.
I still have all that stuff, and I still have like I would really tried to get back into it last year and bought all the chemicals to like develop film again. It's just hard for me to stick to it, but uh,
That's really cool. Yeah.
I like introduced his daughter to that and like gave her a camera and like I love like showing people things and like they get excited about them. Um, it's definitely different. I'm learning a lot. Um, I'm learning to be less selfish. I don't know, just like living on my own. There's lots of things that I don't think
Yeah.
about, like even just like food portions and like little things. Like I don't know. I'm always
Yeah.
like I make this
It's always, I mean,
food.
you've been on your own for a long time, right? Like, at
Yeah.
least living alone. And like, you don't even realize that you're quote unquote selfish because it's always just been you.
Yeah.
But then when you actually care about somebody, because I don't even know that it's a rational thought that happens. It's just when you care about somebody, your perspective just changes.
Yeah.
Like it's almost instinctual, our capacity to kind of love and just evolve into whatever's needed.
It's been good. I've been learning a lot and like I don't know, communicating and I'm really trying my best to really make this relationship like last forever if that's
Yeah,
possible. I
yeah,
want it to, but it's like I realize now through past relationships how um like how much that is on you, like you have to put in
mhm,
the work, you have to communicate, you have to say the hard things that you're thinking or you're worrying about or weird intrusive thoughts, that we get
yeah,
or like you have to talk about that stuff or else it just all like eats you up inside. So I'm growing.
yeah.
I'm still learning a lot about myself, and I just want to keep going, keep trying to be better.
Do you find that communication is new to you, at least on the level you're talking about, is new to you?
Yeah, somewhat. I don't know. Like I was not raised. We didn't talk about feelings,
Yeah,
and like we. There was a lot of things we didn't talk about, and I'm really having to learn that as an adult. How to communicate your feelings effectively, and like not be passive aggressive. um,
yeah. That's a tough one too, because like, especially come up in that kind of a house, but you don't realize it until you can look back and be like, "Oh, I don't like how I feel when I'm saying this," and I'm starting to see and putting everything together, and be like, "Okay, I don't want to be that guy."
yeah, yeah, I'm definitely learning more about myself and how to communicate and Um, it's been going well. There's always so much to improve upon with yourself, but I hope you know. And honestly, the working in the trades is just like it's kind of giving me more. I don't know, like I want to work on myself more, mentally and
Yeah.
physically. Um,
Well, you're doing it wrong. You're supposed to grow your beard out, come home, hate everything, and just sit on the couch
Drink a six
until the
pack.
next day. Exactly. That's how you be in the trades, bud.
Yeah, there's a lot of funny like phrases and things that you get from the trades. My foreman right now, like every day when we leave, he tells us to go straight home, and it's like, I'm like what? What do you? He's like, go straight home. Like, don't go to the bar. That's what he means. Like, don't go to the bar. Don't go to the bar. Don't get drunk. Don't get too drunk. You don't come to work tomorrow. Like, it's crazy how that was like so instilled like in
Yeah.
generation like before us, like in the trades. Like it's a lot better now. People don't like go to the bar during work, but
Right.
the old guys I work with, they're like, we definitely used to go to the bar during.
Yeah. Is there a decent amount of people like your age, like millennials?
Not real, not really. I'd say it's like probably 50% um guys over 50. And then the new apprentices coming in, or like the apprentices in general, are like early 20s or
Okay, so
young.
they're young.
They're
Yeah,
young.
so you like the journeymen are in their 50s. Most apprentices are in their 20s.
Yeah, and then there's a few in between, but like um, it is there's quite a gap, and I'm the oldest apprentice in my class, um, so that says something. um, But like a lot of people at work they say that I'm a good apprentice, they really like me, blah blah blah, I'm doing great. And I'm like, a part of it is because I am older. I'm older than, the 21-year-old, even though we're both fourth year apprentices. I have a lot of life experience too, and like
Right.
decision making skills and organizational skills and just like life skills that
Yeah. Well, your whole mentality of approach is different,
yeah.
Being almost 20 years older is it's just a different perspective.
Yeah, so I have a leg up on some of the younger apprentices, but it's really just life, and like a lot of them, it's like their dad or their uncle or like whoever is like making them or kind of like suggesting highly that they go into the trades.
Yeah.
Where I'm like, I chose this for myself. I'm going to stick to this. I'm the only one who can do this for me. Like I have to believe in myself.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing still.
Thanks.
What else do you want to talk about?
I would love to say that I would like to inspire any other women to join the trades. And if anyone knows anyone who even has an inkling of a thought that they're interested in it, that they can reach out to me or ask me any questions. I just want
Maybe we can link that website you were talking about.
yeah, I will send you the link to Chicago Women in Trade. Um, amazing organization. Um, and yeah, if I can
Also, not for nothing, let's talk about too. How old were you when you started?
started plumbing,
Yeah, your apprenticeship,
I was 32.
and it's a 5 year or 4 year.
It'll be 5 years. Wait,
So 37
no, wait, that's
is
not
when
right.
you'll.
I'm 37 now.
Uh
30,
oh,
um, 30. I must have been 35.
when you started.
It was 2021.
Wow, I like that you thought 3 years ago you were 32.
I feel young. Okay, I don't know.
Listen, I want to go back and revisit all the math you were talking about earlier.
Yes, I do a lot of math. Listen,
Is
it's
that why
after
the
2
basic the
o'clock.
basic stuff is
I'm
gone?
off work, okay?
Fair enough. Yeah, you're not. I can't be doing any kind of addition or subtraction here. Uh,
Okay,
but the point I was trying to make is, so you won't be out of apprenticeship until you're 40.
Yeah, I'll be yeah,
And I want the point there is that like it's not ever too late.
yeah, that
Like
is
you
it.
can pivot at any point in your life. You can pivot anywhere and head wherever you want to go. Like
Yes.
just do it.
Um,
If that's what you want to do, fucking jump in.
amazing moral of the story. Yes.
Yeah,
Never too
that is
late.
a good moral of the story.
It's never too late. You can do it. If you aren't happy in your job, do something about it because no one else is going to do anything for you.
That's true. That's such a good place to end. But I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the elephant in the room or the skeleton on the door.
Hey,
For those of you not seeing any clips or the video, she has the Halloween skeleton hanging on the inside
hey,
of the room. Is that something you just keep there,
it
or
is
have you
year
already
round.
decorated for Halloween?
It
Really?
is year round. It's a skeleton in the closet. But not he's out of the closet. So,
Yeah, that's good.
honestly, no, it's a year-round decoration. That's just where it hangs, and my laptop is on the charger, and this is where we're doing it. So,
Is this your bedroom or is this like an office?
this is my kitchen. I mean, the
Oh,
dining room.
nice, nice.
Kitchen. I live in a one-bedroom apartment, so it
This is this is the room.
is not the bedroom. This
Yeah, this is the not bedroom.
is not bedroom. This is where I eat.
Okay. I
Yeah,
was say I couldn't keep that in my bedroom. That would be
yeah.
terrifying to wake up to in the morning.
He doesn't have a name, but now I feel like I should give him one.
Hey, you have to something cool.
I feel like Earl.
Earl.
Earl, yeah, Earl.
I like it. I think it works.
Yeah.
All right, now I think we've talked about everything. Good thing we didn't end on the good high part. We end on the awkward, weird thing.
No, I love
I
it.
think that sums up. I think that sums us up better as people.
Yeah. You can still be silly too.
Absolutely, I think it's important to be. So, and again, as weird as it is to hear from a peer, I'm so proud of you. I love the things you're doing. I'm also just as excited for the personal growth that you're going through. I love stuff like that. It's so cool when people can start really taking a look at themselves when they're ready and like start being like, okay, this is where I'm at, and this is where I'd like to be heading at least. So that's really cool.
Thank you so much. I am learning to take compliments and
That's tough.
I
It's weird how tough that is.
I think it's really cool what you're doing with your podcast, and I hope I can inspire anyone who listens.
All right, then we'll call it. Thank you so much for finding the time and sitting down with me. Appreciate you so much.
Thank you.